The smoke in Counter-Strike 2 will change everything. But far be it from me to try to predict the multiplicitous ways in which the new utility in CS2 will be used in just a few years. We've already got foolish people on Twitter who have no concept of the subtleties of Counter-Strike, immediately seeing CS2 as a game that has a small change that will hardly make a difference. This is because the games they play change so frequently that you don't see anything pushed to its limit. In their games, their skills are much more suited to being ready for anything to change, and just being good enough, fast enough, but not great, not perfect. Not like in CS. In CSGO, Mahone just released a video going over a single smoke, the Mirage window smoke, and followed it over a decade of demos and noted throughout the years every time a pro team adopted it, and then how quickly every team in the pro scene used it. This of course follows immediately into pugs, matchmaking games, and casual play. What we can learn from this is that if we look at the original CSGO smoke, it's that we've got a piece of ephemeral cover that is not a wall, but it can be usually trusted, and with that trust, grant you other advantages on the map. If you don't use those advantages granted to you by a smoke, you lose to a team who does. Even if the other team does random Stewie 2K smoke push and gets a lucky frag every once in a while, the game is probabilistic. If the play works 2 out of 10 times versus you still made the correct decision. You're still winning 8-2. In site execs, post plants, and map control, smokes allow you to limit choke points so that you can take better fights on key positions. They allow you to scale quickly to get to those good positions safely and kill time off the clock. In Counter-Strike 2, smokes no longer have that same level of reliability. What happens in Counter-Strike 2 if you're going to run up cat on Dust 2 and someone blows up your Xbox smoke with an HE grenade and ops you? The integrity of the smoke grenade, the paramount piece of utility in CSGO, has been tarnished. Or has it opened up options? Just like in CSGO, when that perfect, instant, fast window smoke on Mirage was finally found, in that other game, we would have been crying for a balance change. Please save us, Riot. In Counter-Strike, we know our estranged father Gabe isn't going to save us, so we picked ourselves up by our bootstraps and found counterplay. And when the smoke got faster, we found better counterplay. So again, far be it from me to jump to conclusions on how the new smoke will be used and in which ways it'll be overpowered. It took nearly a full decade for people to find better utility and better counters to a single smoke on a map that hasn't seen a change besides a bench in 3 years. I think there's one thing that's clearly great about this change, however. It's that admittedly we have gotten close to maxing out the potential of all the utility that we've had from CSGO on the maps that we know. We're at a point now where it's almost a rock, paper, scissors meta about whether you smoke top mid or whether you smoke in window and risk the molly coming down. It's less so about knowing the exact best utility and more now about how much you know your opponent. And because the smoke nade interaction in CS2, which feels like the most dramatic and intriguing change, is so powerful, it's at least limited by the fact that you get about 3 seconds out of it per player per round. So what ways do you think the most effective uses of the new smokes will be in CS2? And more importantly, are you excited for the challenge? Or are you wary of the thought of learning your favorite game once again? Well, I can tell you after playing, it feels like CS. It feels like CS in the same way that it did when CSGO came out. You couldn't see how developed the game would get, right? Otherwise, Get Right back in 2013 would have been way ahead of the meta, years ahead. So in CS2, you can kind of see that same potential with these new smokes and some of the new changes that have come with it. And new maps will always change that as well. But for now, it feels like you'll be able to trust the smokes in the same way. As people get better, you won't be able to. But what will the counterplay look like? That's the thing that I can't see yet. And that's the thing I'm most curious about. Remember, back at the beginning of CSGO, there were multiple pro players that said we should have removed the Molotov. And those players don't stand behind those statements anymore. They learn counters to them, and it's made the game incredibly good. So instead of trying to predict how bad the game can be, why not have a slice of humble pie and think about the fact that we had no idea how hard Counter-Strike would be. And it took late stage CSGO with teams getting paid tens of thousands of dollars a month, working every hour of the day to try to figure out how the meta is going to look next month to get to the place that we're at now. I think it's very unlikely that we know where this game will end up, but it does look like it's going to be exciting.